So, would you like to deepen your gratitude a little bit? I think we all could use a little bit of help with it, and we can completely do this on the yoga mat. Now, I want to share a little bit about what we're going to do in this practice and why, but if you want to jump right to the yoga, there's a timestamp below, so go ahead and do it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Erdman-Luntz, and I've been a life coach and yoga educator for over 30 years. I do something a little bit unique in that I combine the two, yoga and life coaching, in order to help people transform even faster. With life coaching, we go through our minds. With yoga, we go through our bodies. And our bodies are very powerful things to tap into. Let's just look at gratitude, which is what we'll be doing in today's practice. Gratitude resides in our heart center. Now, our heart center is right in the middle of the chest, right next to our physical heart, and it is a real thing. Think about when we say our heart swelled, right? I mean, if you think right now of someone you really, really love and imagine them right here, you can feel this enlarging of your heart, right? That's not your physical heart, that's enlarging, if you will. It is actually your energetic heart. And that's where our gratitude resides. But the way we live our lives nowadays, we pull that in. We actually compress it. I mean, think about all the upper back tension you have. I have yet to meet anybody, and I have had thousands of students over 30 years. I've never met a single person who doesn't have at least some upper back tension. And that affects how much gratitude we can experience, because if we're squishing, if you will, that energetic heart, it then makes that space smaller, and you can't experience as much gratitude, right? So what we're going to do in this practice is we're going to open across the heart. We're going to feel that expansion. We're going to put a lot of attention in the heart center. This feels really good, y'all, and it's going to help release a lot of that tension back there. So if you're ready, let's take it to the yoga mat. Now, for this practice, it'd be great if you had some sort of lift that you can sit on, a cushion, a yoga blanket, and 2 blocks. It's okay if you don't have them. I'm going to give you options just in case you don't. So if you're ready, let's get started. We're going to begin in an easy cross-legged position, and I would recommend that you get up onto some sort of lift. I actually like to make it a little bit higher, and this helps. It helps you feel more aligned and makes it easier on the hip joint. All right, so you want to work on finding that spot on your sit bones where you feel your spine is beautifully aligned. So we all have a tendency to arc forward on the sit bones, and I just mean, where you do this or hanging out here. And you want to find your middle ground so that you're right up on top of the sit bones. The lower back is in its neutral curve. So I just like to arc a little bit forward, release, round a little bit, and just go back and forth a couple of times to find that spot. And honestly, I do this every time I come into my first seated pose when I am doing my yoga practice, because it just helps us to always play with where that is, since any day when you're just sitting, at your desk or something, we're all either arcing forward or rounding back. We all have that natural tendency. So I always want to bring a lot of attention to my very first cross-legged pose. So finding that spot on your sit bones, the bones at the very base of your pelvis, and rocking back and forth a little bit, you're going to find where it feels a little bit more like it. And if you can't feel it yet, don't worry, it'll come. And then I want you just to gently feel like you're extending, getting long, reaching out through the top of the head. And then just take a breath and relax as many of the muscles in your back as you can. And we're going to start off with big shoulder rolls. So taking the shoulder rolls forward, you're going to arch and round through the spine at the same time. So I want you to take really big circles. You're moving from the shoulder blades all the way around. Just squeeze the shoulder blades together and then pull them forward, change direction, other way. Just loosening up those muscles between the shoulder blades and all around the shoulder blades. Really big. One more. And just open the arms out to the side. You're going to gently press the backs of the hands together, arc the back up, and then release. Bring the arms forward, up and overhead, lift the heart, arc, little baby back bend, feel your heart lift. And we're going to move into Garudasana. So you're going to take your right arm down, left arm hooks in the crook, if you will, and you're going to wrap, if you can, for the palms together. You can also put the backs of the hands together. You can just grab a finger. If you're like, what the heck, there's no way, then just give yourself a big hug here, okay? And then you're going to lift those elbows up, take your chin into your chest and just round into the upper back. Breathe into that space between the shoulder blades. And then release, take those arms out, up and overhead. And now twist to your right. And you're going to draw the belly in and lift tall. Lift your heart up and then gently twist. Keep breathing. Now, hold on to your right leg with your left hand. Come toward the center. Sweep your right arm up. You're going to reach up and take it over to the side. Get long through the body as you bring it over. Breathe right into your side body. And it's okay if you release this a little bit. If it's too intense, that's just fine. Come back up, back into your twist. And again, you're lifting up as you twist. And then you can just release, keep the arms down as you come back into the center and just take a breath. Hopefully it's already feeling pretty good. Change the cross of your legs, go to the other side. And again, just take a moment to find that spot on your sit bones. So you're not tipped too far forward or too far back. You know, when I was talking about that tendency to arc forward or back, it usually doesn't change. So you have a tendency to either be forward all the time or back all the time. And it's helpful as you learn more about yourself to know which one it is. I'm always forward. So my work is to come back. And I just know whenever I'm in this position, I need to come back and to flatten that lower back a little bit because it's way over arced. Okay, and then just relax the back. Bring your arms up, straight up in front of you. I'm going to give you a side view because it might be easier to see what I'm doing. And you're going to push the arms forward, separate the shoulder blades, then release. Shrug the shoulders up, squeeze right underneath the ears, and release. Now pull the shoulder blades together and release and pull them down. 2 more times in that direction. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and change direction. So take it back, up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. And one more time. Back, up, forward, and down. And then just release and take a breath. Really working on that tension in the upper back. It's going to help us open our hearts so much. Now bring the arms forward and up and overhead. Draw the belly in, arc up. And we're going to do Garudasana on the other side. So left arm comes down, right arm hooks in the crook. And again, whatever option you can do, however close you can get to this will be great. Elbows are down. Shoulders are down. Elbows come up, chin to the chest. And just breathe right between the shoulder blades. And then release, arms go out, up and overhead, and you're going to twist to your left. And again, you're going to draw that belly in, open across the heart. Just feel your heart lift. Shoulders are down. And just gently move into it. You never want to force a twist. You're just barely going into that spot where you feel your twist. And then breathe and let yourself soften. Hold on to the left knee with your right hand as you come through the center. You're going to bring that left arm up and take it over to the side. And again, if it's too intense, you can release this arm a little. Keep breathing. This is a nice variation that helps us get a little bit more into that upper back area. And then come back up, back into your twist here for another breath. And then release back through the center and just take a breath. All right, moving to all fours. So coming up into all fours, coming into table. Have your wrists beneath your shoulders and knees right beneath the hips. Press down through the palms of the hands so you're spreading your weight out through all your fingertips. We're going to do, they're called scapular push-ups, but I think that sounds a little scary. This isn't as hard as you think. You're just going to sink down through the chest, let your shoulder blades come together, feel the squeeze, and then push away and let yourself even round in that upper back. So you're coming down and pushing away. And down and pushing away. We're actually strengthening these muscles that hold so much tension. Strengthening is a really good idea for these muscles. We tend to just want to stretch them, but they really need strengthening too. Now, if this is easy for you, walk the hands away, bring the hips forward so you're in half plank and keep going. And it's okay to walk back to table if this is too hard. Now you're also drawing the belly in, supporting the lower back. Now again, if you want to go up a little bit higher, you can bring your knees up. And we'll just do 4 more. You can also do one knee and just switch so you're even. Last one and release. All right, drop the knees down and you're going to press the palms and walk the knees back a little bit, separate them, toes touch. You're going to reach back, sitting back onto the heels, walking those arms out, forehead down, and get long through the body. Feel your breath. And then coming up, walk the knees in. And send the hips back. A little bit more active here, taking the chest down toward the floor. And in this variation, I want your hips behind your knees, if you can see. I'm still reaching the hips up toward the ceiling. They're not sitting back on my heels, but they are behind the knees. And then we're going to do one more variation. This is even deeper. Walk those hands out even more. This time we're going to keep the hips over the knees. You might need to walk the knees back too. This one is very active and pretty intense, so feel free to walk those knees back to make it a little bit, or walk the knees in to make it a little bit easier for yourself if you need to. And you're going to focus on taking that chest down toward the floor. And just breathe. And then release, come on up and walk the knees in. I want you to draw the belly in, round your spine, and go all the way back into child's pose and just let your head release. Hands back by your feet and just relax everything. Breathe into your back body and let go. And just take a few more breaths. Let yourself relax even more. Feeling your shoulder blades come apart as you soften. So good. And then come on up and back up onto all fours. We're going to move into downward facing dog. Now, if you don't do down dog, or this is your first down dog you've ever done, then I definitely recommend hanging out a little bit longer in extended child's. So if you are ready, you're going to lift the knees and start with really bent knees as you send the sit bones up toward the ceiling, taking your chest toward your knees. Get really long. Keeping the left knee bent, send your right heel down to the floor, toward the floor. Doesn't need to touch the floor, and most people's heels will not touch the floor. So that is not your end goal for this pose. You just want to feel the stretch in your hamstring and in your calf. And change sides. Breathe. Come up high on your toes. Point the sit bones up. And slowly take your heels down toward the floor. And just breathe. It's okay to have your knees bent here a little bit if you need to. And just feel your breath. Now you're going to round into plank, and you might have your knees down if you were in extended child's. Drop your knees, bend the elbows, hug them into your body, and come all the way down to the floor. Release your legs behind you. We're going to do Sphinx pose. So bring your arms straight up in front, above your head. Arms are parallel, palms are flat down. And you're going to pull the elbows back halfway between where they were and underneath your shoulders. So they're not under your shoulders. And you're going to roll the shoulder blades back and down and lift the heart up. Can you feel that arc in the upper back? I want you to feel that movement there. Now your legs, I want you to extend back through them and gently press the tops of the feet down just a little. And that'll engage right in the buttocks. If you can feel that, that's what we're looking for. Then bring the elbows back a little bit more so they're underneath the shoulders. And again, you're going to roll the shoulder blades back and down. Lift the heart up. If it's too intense, feel free to move the elbows wherever you want them. And breathe. You can adjust if you want and just see if you can make it even better. You're gently pressing the palms down, gently pressing the feet down as you lift and arc up. So we're getting a little action, if you will, between the shoulder blades. And then release. Bring the hands up underneath the shoulders. And you're going to press back into extended child's or downward facing dog. So if you've forgotten what extended child's is, it looks like this. So really that same position as down dog, but with the knees down. All right, gaze up. You're going to take your left knee down and bring your right foot up between your hands and release the hips forward. Lift up, feeling open across the heart. Breathe. Feels really good. Get a nice stretch across the front of the hip, right? And then you're going to scoop those arms up, draw the belly in, lift that heart up. Then lace the fingers behind your head. And I want you to lift up and press the head back just a little. You don't need to force this at all, but do you feel that opening across the heart? It's quite yummy. And breathe. And then release and come forward. You're going to step the back foot up next to the front foot and have your feet a little wide. So we're going more than hip width, not quite the width of your mat. We're going to do a pose that's called ragdoll. Now, this one can be intense. What we're doing is we're letting our back muscles release. So you want to put your elbows on your knees to start and just allow your head to come down and just begin to feel your back muscles move up toward your head. And you can stay here if you want to go further. Hands down to the floor, let the head release. Breathe into the belly, and you can stay here. If you want to go further, you're going to grab the elbows and let the weight of the arms pull the shoulder blades down. So you can feel we're letting the tension from the back really move against gravity. So we're going the other way here with it. And they can be pretty intense, so just be gentle with yourself. Your torso is resting on your thighs, so their knees are nice and bent. All right, now hands go down, and we are going to reverse that lunge. So bring your right foot back this time, and you're going to release the hips forward, lift up, and you should be on the other side. So switch if you feel like, no, I did this side already. And From here, bring those arms up and overhead, draw the belly in, lift tall, bend the elbows, lace the fingers behind your head, and then very gently take that head back, opening the chest even more. And just breathe. You might not even need to take the head back. I know it's pretty intense. And then release and come forward. All right, take your front foot back. You're going to move into extended child's or down dog again. And just take a few breaths here. Get long through the body, reaching out through the sit bones. And then gaze forward. We're going to step the right foot up again. This time keeping the back knee up. It's okay to drop it to get that right foot up, but then pop it back up. And just feel really strong through that back leg, right? Reach up and out through the top of the head. Feel your breath. And you're going to plant the left hand and open that right arm out into a twist. Keep the hips nice and low. It's okay to take that right hand to the right knee if that's all the further you can go, especially if there's any strain in the shoulder. Circle that right arm back as it comes to that left arm. Bring both arms up. Draw the belly in and arc up. Now we're going to move into cactus. Cactus looks like this. Okay, so if the arms at 90 degrees, draw the arms back so you're squeezing through the shoulder blades, and then release. Okay, next step is not super graceful. Do the best you can. You're going to hop up that back foot a little bit closer and set the foot down. Hips are still squared to the front. That back foot is turned out slightly. Draw the belly in, lift tall. And you're going to take the hands behind you. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of variations here. If you can, lace the fingers together, feeling the squeeze in the shoulder blades and the lift of the heart. If this is too intense, take your hands to the back of your waist and squeeze the elbows back. Okay, lift. And you're going to press through that back heel and then fold forward over your front leg. So still squeezing through the shoulder blades and getting a little bit of a stretch here in the front hamstring. And breathe. All right, release. We're going to move into ragdoll again. So you're going to step that front with the back leg up. Give yourself that width again in the feet. Hopefully this is a little easier the second time, but still start with the elbows on the knees and just let your shoulders release up towards your ears. Let your head hang. Feel supported here. We're not hanging in the back here at all. You're fully supported on your elbows. If you want to go further, you're going to take the hands down, but then your belly is supported on your legs. You're just letting everything go. Feel your back muscles move up towards your head. And you can release the elbows or hold on to the elbows and feel that release as the weight of your arms pulls those shoulder blades down. Breathe into the back. And then bring both hands down. And we're going to do that whole series to the other side. So left foot stays forward, right foot goes back, and you're in that knee up lunge. Now you want to get as low as you can here. Back leg is nice and straight. Now, if this is really challenging for you, just putting a couple of blocks underneath your hands can make a difference. Gives you a little bit of space. Now plant the right hand. Left hand can open for your twist, or you can take it to the knee. Bring it all the way up if you want. And if you can, feel that twist in the spine. It's so delicious. And then release that hand back and bring both arms up. Now it's totally okay to also put your hand on the thighs to help yourself. If you have a wall there and you need some balance, go ahead and grab it. Lift up. Arms in cactus. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then bring them down. And then you're going to bring that back foot up a little bit. Turn the toes out. Press the heel down. Hips and shoulders still squared to the front. You're going to take the hands behind your back, either lace them or back on the back of your waist. And you're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together as you press through that back heel. Both legs are nice and straight. Feel the squeeze between the shoulder blades. Heart opens. And then come forward. I'm a little out of breath here. Breathe. And then release. Hands go down. You're going to step the front foot back into extended child's or down dog. And just take a moment to find that pose for yourself. And then release. Coming down into child's pose. Come all the way down. You want to tuck the belly in here and round. I want you to round all the way into this pose. So your spine is nice and rounded as you move into it, bringing your hands back by your feet. And again, letting the shoulder blades come apart. Feeling your breath in your belly. So good, right? And just let yourself relax here for a moment. All right, now coming up. Okay, for this next pose, this is where you'll want 2 blocks. If you have them, I've got options, so don't worry. If you have 1 block or no blocks, I've got options. So if you have 2 blocks, we're going to lie over them. This is one of my very favorite heart openers. So you place one like so, and then one up like that, okay? And this is where you're going to lie over it, and then this is for your head. If you only have 1 block, you can use something else. I will frequently just have people fold up their blanket. Okay, it's not gonna hold now, but as soon as you put your head on it, it'll be just fine. Or, a book or something. This is so much more comfortable than it looks. It's kind of amazing, actually. So where this bottom one goes, this first one, depends on you, and I actually will move it as I lay here to get more into more and more of my spine. But you then place this one under your head for a pillow, more or less. And you can have the knees bent or you can straighten them, that's up to you. I like them bent personally. And then I will just move it up a little bit and go back and just take a few breaths and move it a little bit more. And just feel that openness across the heart. It's just so yummy. Okay, now if you don't have a block, if you have 2 blocks, go ahead and into this. If you don't have blocks, you're going to do back bend over a roll, another favorite of my students. And you're just going to take your blanket or your mat. Mats make great rolls for this. And then you're going to lie over it so it hits about where your bra strap is, if you have one. Otherwise, just like right underneath the arms, right at the base of the shoulder blades. And you just lie back. So nice. Great heart opener. This is a nice one to do on a daily basis. At the end of the day, letting go of the day. And you can have legs straight or bent, whichever you prefer. Okay? So find the one you're going to do. I'm going to go back to the blocks. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. And just let yourself relax and release. Feeling your heart open. If you want to hold longer, feel free to pause the video and enjoy. If you're ready to come out, whether you're over the blocks or the roll, you're going to roll over to one side. If you have the roll underneath you, pull it out from underneath you and just lay on your side here for a moment. Feel your belly breath. And just let yourself soften right here into this space. And then you're going to push up with your top hand. Let your head be very heavy till the very end. Come on up to sitting. Grab your lift again and have a seat. Coming into your cross-legged. I have one more thing I want to share with you, and that is the Anjali Mudra. So mudras are ways of placing the body to enhance energy flow into a particular part of the body. The Anjali, this one, which you're probably familiar with, directs it through the heart. So what I want you to do is first take a breath and just let your back relax. Find that alignment over your sit bones. Find that quiet spot. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart and bring the thumbs right up to the heart. Shoulders are down. Gently press the palms a little bit. And just take a couple of breaths and notice if you feel more, like even a swelling through your heart, like we talked about earlier. Sometimes I can actually feel almost like a river running through it. I can feel the energy in it. But it's okay if you don't feel anything, it's still happening. And I just want you to bow your head to your heart and just take a moment to bring to mind 3 things you feel grateful for, and just notice how it feels now after the yoga we just did. And then you can release the hands down to your lap, bring your head up. Pretty amazing, isn't it? 100%. This practice done regularly. And what do I mean by that? Once a week, twice a week. If you're really working on this 5 times a week, 7 days a week, it makes such a difference because it helps you release that tension in your back that 100% affects the energy in your heart center, which affects how much gratitude you can experience. So enjoy this practice, enjoy taking it into your life. I would love to hear if you learned something new. Feel free to comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and thanks for joining me. Namaste.